Ghana TBC in Ghana higher current finance minister Dr. Mohammed Amin ejumani di washa asie or ye okotos ewie and a monthly bian na also say obey the address Ghana for with what the economic health obey how do obey the obey catch and the ntiano and okoye town hall meeting the information for either Ghana for na some no can figures no bobo no Walsh would see obey wow the measure say we call how would see aba
by December same year, the depreciation was about 30%. And then by the end of 2023, that is about 12 months on, we saw the depreciation come down to 27.8%. However, if you isolate February to December 2023, we saw a more dramatic performance by the cedi. The cedi depreciated against the US dollar by only 9.1% in 11 out of the 12 months of the year 2023. This is important also because same time in 2022, the cedi depreciated by 29.8%. So you can see the remarkable performance in the cedi. The high depreciation of the cedi against the dollar in January 2023 was largely on the back of realignment of the foreign exchange market between the official and the forex market. And the recent depreciation we've seen has been due to a number of factors which the Bank of Ghana spoke eloquently about when the Monetary Policy Committee presented its report. The good news is that the stability has continued into this year, 2024, with a cumulative depreciation of 6.8%. And this was as of the 20th of March, 2024. If you compare that with same period in 2023, there was a depreciation of 22.1%. So 6.8% against 22.1% same time last year also shows the great performance of our currency. We hope that the Bank of Ghana will continue to make all the necessary interventions to ensure that the stability of the cedi is sustained. However, as I indicated, the exchange rate has witnessed some pressures in the last few weeks, due mainly to the strengthening of the US dollar against major trading currencies across the world. Additionally, payments made for energy and corporate sectors, compounded by the delays with the disbursement of the second tranche of the cocoa loan and the World Bank Development Policy Operation, have placed further pressures on the cedi. According to the Bank of Ghana, these pressures have been mitigated somewhat by the continued inflows from remittances and mining companies and from the domestic gold purchase program. To further stabilize the currency, we are expecting a total disbursement of about 1.2 billion United States dollars from our development partners, namely the IMF, the World Bank, and the African Development Bank. And this we expect to be disbursed before the end of this year, 2024. Additional planned disbursements from ongoing projects will support our growth interventions and strengthen the currency as well. In this vein, we kindly request Parliament to approve the $150 million World Bank facility for what we call the GARIT project to enhance flood protection at the local level. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue to make progress in the external sector with improvements in both the current account balance and the trade balance. The current account recorded a surplus of $0.46 billion. That's $46 million at the end of 2023, compared to a deficit of $1.5 billion at the end of December 2022. That's very wide, and this lends credence to the interventions that we are making in this economy. Also, the trade balance ended the year 2023 with a surplus of $2.6 billion. The surplus trend continued in 2024 with a trade surplus of $392 million at the end of February 2024. And therefore, it is not surprising that gross international reserves is also improving. Gross international reserves, including encumbered assets and petroleum funds, stood at $5.9 billion at the end of December 2023 from $6.3 billion at the end of December 2022. The gross international reserve improved to $6.2 billion at the end of February 2024. So within these few months of the year, we have seen the gross international reserves overtaking the levels at the end of
I am full kind of boss with the Bibia, a fast castle beyond the power ever boss. But when a bone column boss or church and Yamu, a trim, a queen amount, I say, I'll queen amount, no day, ain't got the
of 2022. These developments are supported by Bank of Ghana's Growth for Reserve program and the government's Gold for Oil program. Monetary policy rate has also seen some movements. It was lowered by 100 basis points to 29% in January 2024 by the Monetary Policy Committee. And this was in response to the disinflation process that started in January 2023. So at its 117th meeting, the MPC maintained the monetary policy rate at 29%. On interest rates moderated from 35.5%, 91-day Treasury bills in December 2022 to 19.7% in April 2023. The rates increased again to 29.36% as at end December 2023. And this was because of T-bills, Treasury bills remaining the main source of domestic financing after the DDEP. But it is important to state, however, the first 12 auctions in this year, 2024, have witnessed a consecutive decline in interest rates, with the 91-day Treasury bills rate now at 26% as of 25th March 2024. Let me brief you on fiscal balances. We are seeing improvements on the fiscal balances, and provisional data on government fiscal operations for the year-end 2023 show that we met our primary balance targets on commitment basis. The overall budget deficit on commitment basis improved from a deficit of 11.8% of GDP in 2022 to a deficit of 3.9% at the end of 2023. This is about, I think, 7 percentage points decline in the overall budget deficit on commitment basis. Similarly, the primary balance, which is our fiscal anchor on commitment basis, also improved from a deficit of 4.3% of GDP at the end of 2022 to a deficit of 0.3% of GDP. Again, this tells us that there is a significant decline by about 4 percentage points. That's a major decline in the primary balance. And I have to state that this 0.3% of GDP in primary balance on commitment basis is lower than the target deficit of 0.5% of GDP. The overall budget balance also saw an improvement from a deficit of 10.7% of GDP at the end of 2022 to a deficit of 3.2% of GDP. Again, about 7 percentage point decline in the overall budget balance. And so you can see that apart from revenue being improved, we are also holding the line on the expenditure side. And the two lines together have contributed significantly to the improved fiscal balances that the economy is recording. And to buttress this point, total revenue and grants collection of 15.8% of GDP, representing a 39.6% growth in revenues with respect to 2022 revenue collection, or relative to 2022 collection. So that is how revenue improved. If you come to the expenditure side, on commitment basis, on the other hand, it reduced by 0.2%. That is 19.7% of GDP, coming down from 27.7% of GDP at the end of 2022. And so another remarkable shift in the expenditure, which is supported by the expenditure controls and the commitment controls that the ministry is implementing. Public debt trajectory is also improving, as the debt to GDP ratio reduced to 71.4% of GDP at the end of 2023, coming down from 73.5% of GDP at the end of 2022. So this is where I end my brief on the fiscals. Let me quickly update you on the implementation of the IMF-supported PCPEG. The second review of the 3-year, $3 billion IMF-supported PCPEG is to be conducted by the IMF staff this April, coming April, starting from 2nd of April to the 12th of April 2024. And this is following the successful completion of the first review of the program, which saw the disbursement of some $600 million into the economy. During the second review, the IMF mission will engage the authorities in technical and policy discussions to enable them assess Ghana's performance.
Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin and Wakasa Ewi and Michelle Mensa Makasa Ewi ha and a Lubisi Fefe Osa in some Mr. Passe, where subscribing now I share the